Well, he's announced he's going to stop campaigning, but Ron Paul isn't out of the race just yet. The presidential candidate says he simply doesn't have the cash to splurge on campaigning, but he has a new strategy, fighting for and winning delegates. After all, his supporters say that's what really counts. So just because many people have called this race over, Ron Paul and his supporters say they're here to stay. So can the Ron Paul delegate strategy work? Joining us now is Mary Willison, volunteer organizer and Ron Paul supporter. Hi there, Mary. Nice to see you. So while Romney has the cash to continue campaigning, Ron Paul has a more behind-the-scenes strategy. How does he plan to implement this delegate strategy, and can the strategy work?
Well, the process began a long time ago in the caucus states, and even the primary states have a delegate selection process. And Ron Paul supporters showed up and became those delegates who go on to, from the district conventions to their county conventions, onto their state conventions, and get elected as national delegates. Ron Paul's priority is focusing on those states where there is a delegate selection process where, it's actually not necessarily Ron Paul's strategy as much as it is the people who are going and becoming those delegates. So I don't fault him for not spending a lot of money in the primary states on advertising, especially negative ads. Ron Paul's that's just not his way. So, but he already did a lot of campaigning through many of the primary states, like California. We had 6 rallies here, town hall rallies attended by more than 25,000 people. There were 3 different fundraisers. I attended a couple of them. And it's up to the grassroots now, I think, to support Ron Paul and get him elected. So the announcements that I heard this week, for me, it doesn't mean that he has stopped his campaign whatsoever. It just means that we have to push on, continuing to get ourselves elected as delegates. Ron Paul never had the power to anoint anyone as a delegate, and the way I have interpreted his recent announcements, and because I'm at the grassroots level, I don't have direct coordination with the campaign, my interpretation is it's up to us, carpe diem. It's the delegates who need to get themselves elected, who need to get to that convention. If we want to make a mark in the platform, if we want to get our president elected, we have to show up and make it happen.
All right, and I have a feeling Ron Paul's supporters are going to show up because they have stuck by him throughout all of this. And I've talked to many of his supporters that say it's not necessarily about winning, it's about his message. What do you think about that?
I'm still in it to win it. I know that it is about a movement. It's not only about Ron Paul winning. We have to get ourselves elected at all the local levels in order to really create a change. Ron Paul can't do this on his own. It's up to us to become part of the party and take action at local levels in order to make any progress, the progress that we need. We need sound money. We need to end these wars. There's so much to it in his message, and he's not just a leader to many of us, he's also a fatherly figure, and there's a lesson in everything, and I think it's sink or swim, and it's tough love, and we have to do something if we want it to be done. You can't wait around and expect it to be done for you.
All right, Mary. So after the Republican National Convention in August, there'll be just a couple months before the election, and if Mitt Romney does become the nominee, what will Ron Paul supporters, as yourself, what would you do? Would you ever back Romney, or would they stay home on voting day instead, or where would you take that energy?
Myself, personally, I would write Ron Paul in. But I don't know where the movement will go in August if he is not the Republican nominee. I know a lot of people would like to push him to go third party. I don't think that that's in his agenda whatsoever. But it really has to, it's going to be based on our actions, I think. And if we want our president elected, we have to do everything in our power to make it happen and show a strong showing. We have to be the delegates on that floor. I don't know about what's going to happen if Romney gets the nomination. I think it would be very detrimental to the party. I don't think that we could win as Republicans with Romney as the nominee. I think that he doesn't pose any change from what we currently have. And we can't just sit around and hope for change anymore. We have to take action now because we are on the verge of becoming Europe or something else where there's catastrophe, and most Americans unfortunately don't know about it.
All right, Mary, thank you for coming on the show. Pleasure as always. Fighting the fight for Ron Paul. Very quickly,
I can tell you there's a money bomb going on right now, the Rise for Liberty money bomb for the Ron Paul campaign. People can donate at ronpaul2012.com.
All right.
Also, the LALibertyHQ.org is where people can support Ron Paul in Los Angeles, and look for their Liberty candidates at LALibertyVote.com.
All right, there you have it. That is how you support your candidate there. That was Mary Willison, volunteer organizer and Ron Paul supporter.